So in this Photoshop film, we're just looking quickly at the beta 25 October release. And this is specifically all about the new Nano Banana, which is the Gemini 2.5 kind of AI that we can now use. Remember, this is in Photoshop Beta. Just to give you a kind of an idea, this is an image that we did on a previous beta film where we kind of combined images to show how they kind of come together. And really what we're doing is if we just Control A, select all around this image, and then click onto the generative fill here, you can see what we've got is the G now. And that's because I've selected the Gemini 2.5, which is known as Nano Banana. Whereas usually we'd be looking at Firefly Image 3 and so on with it. So this is where we can kind of swap between the different AI to actually get the different results. Like anything, it's all dependent on what you kind of write down. So make this image a night scene with spotlight on the subject's face. Add street lights in distance and make all lamps and windows glow. So that's just a kind of a simple one that we would kind of do. However, what I would suggest is that you start to look at actually taking your basic prompt into the likes of Gemini itself, the Google Gemini, and actually ask it to create a better prompt to create a photograph and so on. It'll give you much more in-depth kind of thing. But let's hit generate there. So you can see the kind of effect that it's giving straight away, but the more you refine the prompt, you're going to get different results each time with it, and you'll be able to actually kind of change the different effects just by kind of touching onto the prompt. But the Nano Banana is really giving us quite a good effect. We'll touch on lingerie in a minute because it does have some benefits for us, but it's still not going to fix everything in boudoir photography. Let's go to a Cuban image. And basically this is one I first was playing around with to do with the Nano Banana and everything else with it. But if I kind of switch these off for a minute, once again, this is an image that we created. This image here is what we created in the last beta films that we were doing and so on with it. So let me first of all just Control A and Control C. So I've just basically selected the whole image and I've copied it. Let me just shut that down just so you can see that we're working from fresh. And so Photoshop is, let me paste this in and basically flatten the layer. So let's do a quick transformation. Let's turn it into a winter scene. So Control A to select around the image itself. Yep. That's what we're trying to do here, is get all these crawling ants going around. Hitting on the generative fill, and let's paste in a simple text to do with turn it into a dawn image with soft blue light and any lights glowing. And pretty much did its job, didn't it? You know, so it's given us exactly what we wanted. Let's add to this prompt now. Let's now turn the scene into winter with snow all around, and just hit it. So it's kind of done a kind of job, but what it's getting itself confused with is the one kind of command and the other command and things. So we need to take this into a much more kind of dynamic image. So let's switch this off. We go back to the original, Control A to select all around the image once more. Now into the image itself, let's just simply turn this into turn image into a winter scene with snow all around. Okay, let's just hit that one. So much more dynamic, and that's because we were working directly back to that other image, yes? And once we've done this now, we can kind of start to actually add the extra effects and so on with it. So if you think what we were doing before, we were converting it to a kind of a dark image, yeah? So we want to turn it into a night scene. We want to have the glowing lights. We talked about that, and any windows and street lamps to be lit. We want to also have, you know, shadows and dramatic lighting in the scene with it and things really. So in fact, my prompt that I did it within Gemini then, so based on this image now, Shift Control Alt E I'm going to. This is going to give me this image to work on, the flattened image. That's like selecting the original, yeah? I'm going to Control A to select the image, back into the generative fill, and now actually we've got it here. So what I've got is generate this vivid cinematic night scene, use high contrast dramatic lighting with results in razor sharp deep black shadows. The lights from the windows and street lamps should be intensely glowing and overexposed, casting long distinct light. Distinct lights. Okay, and we'll hit that. And that's pretty incredible what we did. Obviously, you can go in and refine it a little bit more. No lights in the actual, you know, arches, or kind of a darker, moodier light. Add light inside the car, turn the headlamps on. But you get what we're on about here. Really, this Nano Banana is allowing us to kind of generate some pretty cool images and things really, and it's great for kind of mock-ups or actually placing subjects and having a background and things really, where we could kind of just change it. And don't forget, like all kind of generation, if we're not happy with what we created here, created I should say, we can actually hit it, generate again, and it'll just create another image using the same prompt. And it's definitely not as dynamic, is it? You know, it's switched off the lights and everything else with it. And all we did, we used exactly the same prompt, and it's turned one thing to another. But you could use those two to actually combine it together, perhaps, to get the image that you like. So finally, let's just open up a boudoir image, and just to actually show you that it is fixing some of the stuff. Let's make a really loose selection, but kind of including all the elements that we want. And just add that little bit of strap in there by pressing the Shift key as well. And we want to actually just change the lingerie. Yeah? So if I just type in turn lingerie to a vivid red color. Remember, you can give it a hex number as well if you know a specific shade that you want. Let me just hit the generate first. So that's the result we've got. And usually, as you know, anything with a lot of flesh basically will give us a problem within AI, whereas basically Nano Banana is allowing us to do some. However, if I try to actually change the bedspread with the girl still there, there is too much flesh in the whole image to actually kind of work that out. The only thing you've got to watch out for is some slight misalignment here, and obviously you just need to actually realign it and then basically mask out any kind of blend options and so on with it. But as you can see, done a really, really great job there. A little bit of kind of work to do at the top here, just with alignment, and so with the actual chin as well with it and things really. But the great news is that it's allowing us to do those little things that pretty much AI in beta and in the full Photoshop has not been allowing us to do. So all you boudoir photographers out there, you can actually start to actually change colors and actually get more successful results by changing the outfits as well.